ARC Marketing Technology South is really about putting a framework in place for people to think about marketing technology across people, process, data, and technology. And how do you achieve more balance across an organization in those areas? We started out the day with Scott Kloskowski talking about the future of technology, and he gave us some really interesting ideas around high beam leadership.
The dilemma that we see leaders get into is this: the pace of change when we look at technology is growing exponentially. But the pace that organizations are actually able to grow at is logarithmically. In other words, they cannot change as fast as the pace of technology change. Let me just throw out some things for you that might help you to be able to close the gap. The first thing that you have to be able to do is you have to be able to see over the horizon. You have to be able to see into the future accurately. Leadership is you have a vision and you have the courage to invest in that vision.
Then we had Art Hopkins speak on leadership and nurturing and achieving your goals through mentoring of your team and how you can elevate your company by elevating your people.
Life is like a box of chocolates, quoting Forrest Gump. I would say that leadership is like a bag of Cracker Jacks. And the idea here is that I think you can find leadership moments and little leadership nuggets and morsels kind of anywhere. HIPPOs are the way that many decisions are made in corporate environments. HIPPO is an acronym, stands for Highest Paid Person's Opinion. And you will find that those are not at all an endangered species at the executive level. One of the things that I've learned with my kids as well as people in leadership teams is that sometimes you just have to let people climb up the back of the chair.
And we heard Dr. Amy Sharma speak on causation and correlation are two different things in your data, and that unless you know what you want to do with your data, it's just all going to dump into a big data lake, and you'll never get it back out again if you don't think about how you're structuring and what you want out of it.
Data does not equal intelligence, and it certainly doesn't equal actions. And I think a lot of us are stuck in this thing where we've been gathering and gathering data, and we just think that out of the primordial soup of our data lake will just magic. If you build it, they will come does not translate into if I gather it, I will have utility. What is it that you can do in your business right now that you're just dying to know about? And what do you think? What are the small questions that you can start asking your data that can then build to something kind of awesome?
From there, we had a great client panel. The best takeaways for the audience with that panel was talking about change management in their organization and how they were able to inspire and influence their executive teams by selling these ideas internally, helping manage through the process of that, of implementation and change.
Making the business understand that there's two levels of what we're doing. There needs to be not only a strong infrastructure about technology, but that needs to continually grow, and there needs to be a continual investment. It's hard sometimes because the business buys into the initial spend of that technology, but then having them understand that we're not done.
Being honest, especially with C-levels, has really helped me continue to get the dollars.
Too, when we're having those tough conversations about how did something roll out, or there's bugs here, there's bugs there, and then that also allows me, I think, to go back and talk to, again, my customers who are our properties and better explain it, and they know that I'm standing in the gap for them with IT or in whatever capacity it is. And when they know that, I think they're better able to take the small failures or the bumps in the road a little bit better, and then it helps that teamwork overall.
It's very helpful to have a third party come in and say, well, do you have this group at the table? Do you have this group at the table? Or the other side, from the marketing perspective, they can help us navigate IT a lot of times and say, you're going to need someone in a role that does something like this. And they help us figure out what the teams are. So, and third-party wisdom goes pretty far.
Then we heard from Eric Stoll, who's founder of ARC, taking everyone through those areas of people, process, data, and technology, and then helping them understand the process of building a customer journey framework so that everyone has some actionable items that they can go back to their office tomorrow and put to work in their own teams.
I don't think any of us can deny at this point that customer experience is what allows us to differentiate our companies these days. We've gone through a big evolution through the Web 1.0, 2.0, but now you can absolutely be very disruptive with tools that are very common and available to all of us. It is a very different thing to become a top performing athlete. I know some folks here, you run marathons and whatnot, and you can probably agree that it takes a lot of work to get in shape. It takes a lot of thought into the diet you have, the supplements you take, etc. And once you're in shape and you run that marathon, you don't just stop and say, okay, I've arrived. Right? You have to keep at it. And I don't think digital transformation is any different than that, which really means that not only do we have to focus on technology and the 4 pillars, we have to think about this in terms of behavior. Our behavior, the behavior of our customers, there's internal behavioral changes and external behavioral changes that we need to think about every day.
I hope some of the things that people take away from ARC Marketing Technology South are that it doesn't really matter whether you're in marketing or whether you're in IT or what your title is, but we all have the opportunity to influence our companies and help lead our organizations.